holy moly, it's cold. From what I heard on the weather forecast, it's supposedly the coldest morning in 23 years here in Denmark. It is only minus 18 degrees where I am right now, but it has probably hit minus 20 degrees somewhere in Denmark. And for Danish conditions, that's incredibly cold. So this morning I planned to go to a lighthouse, but on the way there I came past this beautiful heath area. I visited it a couple of times, but I've actually never really shown it here on my channel. And what I saw was hoarfrost. So I just drove in and I saw these gorgeous trees all covered in like a thick layer of hoarfrost. Like we are talking maybe a centimeter, 2 centimeters of frost particles. Do you call them frost particles? Anyway, but that just covers all these small lone trees you can maybe see here in the background. So what I'm doing is I've brought out the camera and then I'm just trying to find some kind of foreground that I can use for these trees. I have put on the polarizing filter because it works really well when I'm shooting perpendicular to the sunrise. And I'm doing that because then I can use these stripes here in the foreground. So as you can see, they're like lit from the side and then they can lead up to the tree. I do have the moon just right there, but it's quite small when I'm shooting this wide. But my composition, you can see right here, looks so flippin' cool. For this photo, I'm shooting at ISO 100, f8, and right now it's in aperture priority, so I have a shutter speed of 2.5 seconds, and then I'm focus stacking it. I need to be so careful and time everything right when I'm both rocking and taking photos, because it's so cold that the fingers are just like, yeah, freezing very, very fast. Right now I'm photographing this twig of a tree, but as you can see I have beautiful pink colors here in the background that I'm using. Again, the moon is just above it. I'm not sure I'm leaving the moon in there, maybe cloning it out, but I'll probably leave it in there. But it could maybe end up being a little bit distracting. I'm right now trying to find a foreground that suits me better in this area. You can see I have this heather with beautiful frost on that is really, really nice. But as you can see, as I pan up here, all the heather, it's actually quite busy, this area. So that's why I'm coming down all the way down here and just covering up that midground with the foreground right here. So I came back to the first tree because the sky just went bananas with pink colors, and here in the background the sun is coming up in just a moment. But the first tree, I think I preferred that one. I have other lone trees standing around, but this one here is just the most dominant, so I think I'll just focus my energy on that, at least until the sun comes up and throws its first colors onto the scene. So I found a slightly different angle than the one before, and you can see I'm using these patterns right here and then leading up to the tree. I may even use these here. Now sadly I've put my tripod here, I may actually have ruined that composition. And that's the thing with photographing in snowy conditions like these. It's just about finding those interesting patterns, those patterns where you're like, whoa, this looks unique, this looks interesting. It's something I cover in my ebooks on composition, and also how to use the light in a scene like this, where the sun is coming up, using a little bit of side light so that you get that texture in the snow really like glowing in your face with your photos. with minimal text. They're super easy to read, and I cover all the different techniques I use to get the photos that I get. If you're in doubt about whether you want the ebooks, you can get the 3 free light versions by signing up to my newsletter, and the full versions you can get either standalone or bundled up for a discount. There are links to all of them down in the description of the video. There's so many cool patterns in this area right here, but the thing is, if I walk in there, I ruin the patterns behind it because of my footsteps. So I really need to see if I can pre-visualize the different shapes and see whether they are usable. But they're really, really cool. I like them very much. They really make that like impactful foreground that I like. And then with this tree and the colors in the background. Nice. Here comes the sun, here comes the direct light. This composition is just a insane leading lines with this light right here. Look at that! Look at that! That is so cool. Absolutely beautiful. Wow. So as the sun is slowly coming up here, I'm just moving around, and I've come to some other lines right here. They are a little thinner. There's a few more of them, and then they're more straight, but they still look really cool as they just like force the view in and onto the tree right here. So as you can see, the lines are right there, and just as before, I'm simply just focus stacking it. I'm just focusing on the foreground, f8, ISO 100, and right now with 1/30th of a second because the sun has come up. It's quite a fast process. Besides the second photo, I've simply just manually blended the focus stacking exposures together in Photoshop. I did the initial editing in Camera Raw, upon which Lightroom is built, and then finished it off in Photoshop. If you want to learn how I edit my photos, including both simple and complex focus stacking, cleaning your photos properly, adding glow and working with atmosphere, using luminosity masks and color masks to edit your photos, and much more, you can get $45 off by using the coupon code when enrolling in my huge editing course. You can find the coupon code and link down in the description of the video. So I'm just driving around. I just wanted to stop and actually show you this phenomenon. It's incredible. Like, look at this. I almost don't think I've ever seen frost this big here in Denmark. These are like a couple of centimeters. Utterly fascinating. And obviously stunningly beautiful. So now that I'm out of the golden hour, I'm just driving around in the landscape and seeing what I can find. And I came by this beautiful silver birch right here. And the frost has just attached to those small branches, hanging branches. And even though I can't really get a proper shot of the entire silver birch, I can zoom in with the 25 to 200 millimeter to just a little part up here. That makes for a beautiful, minimal, zoomed in, almost abstract winter photo. And the good thing about photos like these is that they don't require a whole lot of editing. If you want to learn much more about landscape photography, composition, light, and editing, be sure to check out my educational material down in the description of the video. And if you want to see even more winter landscape photography, be sure to check out the video on the screen right now. See you next time.